Now we will go through the implementation of the FIFO control module. So these are the inputs to the FIFO control: clock, reset, write enable and read enable, and the outputs from this module are the full, almost full and empty condition indication signals, and the write pointer and read pointer, which is of width depth width -1. And again it's parameterized with the depth value. We can see that we are not passing the write data, or we are not outputting from the read data from this module. This module will just control the current value of the write pointer and read pointer depending on the current status of the FIFO. Now these are the internal, we are deriving an internal parameter saying pointer width is equal to C log B2 of depth, and we are defining multiple signals to manage the write pointer and read pointer. So we have a write pointer incremented by 1, write pointer incremented by 2, which is WPTR underscore INC2, and the write pointer next, and again read pointer INC1, and read pointer next signals are declared, and also the almost full condition or almost full condition next, and the full condition next, empty condition next, and the empty current empty condition. All the signals are declared here. Now we will go through the implementation of write pointer, or how we can derive the write pointer based on the status of the FIFO. So you can see that the write pointer, the output write pointer, this is a write pointer that we are outputting from this FIFO, the WPTR, and it is always a flopped version of the write pointer next signal. So this is a flip-flop macro. So the write pointer will be always equal to write pointer next on every clock. Before seeing write pointer next, we will derive two other signals called write pointer incremented by 1 and incremented by 2. So this will be always indicating the current write pointer value incremented by 1. So you can see that WPTR INC1 is equal to write pointer plus 1 always if this condition is not satisfied. So whenever write pointer, the current write pointer value is equal to the maximum value possible, that is depth -1. This is a condition where we wrap around the FIFO. The FIFO has reached the maximum limit of the limits of its capability, and the next write pointer write has to happen from the 0th location of the FIFO. That's therefore the write pointer INC1 will be equal to 0 when we are reaching the maximum value. If the current write pointer is the maximum value of the possible, which is equal to depth -1. Otherwise WPTR INC1 is equal to the current write pointer incremented by 1. And in the same way we are defining another signal called write pointer incremented by 2, that is WPTR underscore INC2, which is again getting the incremented value of this particular signal. So this is needed to derive the almost condition, which we will go in the next session. So you can see that the write pointer incremented by 2 is equal to WPTR INC1 plus 1 if this WPTR INC1 is not reaching the maximum value. Now based on the current status of this write pointer and the current write condition, we are deriving the next value of the write pointer. So within an always COM block, we are checking the combined value of the write enable and the negated reset. So you can see that whenever this is equal to 1 this loop is executed and so on. So blindly, whenever there is a reset asserted, that is when the reset is 0, this bit will be always 1. So in that case you can see that when this is a case that is 2-bit 1 and 2-bit 0 1. In these two cases the next value of the write pointer will be equal to 0. So whenever there is a reset asserted, the next value of the write pointer will be always equal to 0. And if there is no reset, and if based on the write enable value, we will derive the next signal, next write pointer signal. So if there is a write enable without reset, that is 1 0, this condition, then the write pointer next will be equal to write pointer value incremented by 1. Now if there is no reset and if there is no write enable, the next value of the write pointer will be equal to the current value of write pointer. So you can see that based on these 4 conditions, we are deriving the next value of the write pointer into a signal called WPTR underscore NXT, and this signal is or the write pointer is getting updated to this write pointer next value on every clock by using this macro, which is a flip-flop macro. So this is the implementation of the write pointer, and in the same way you can see the read pointer is derived. So the read pointer incremented by 1 is equal to the current read pointer plus 1 if it is not reaching the maximum value, or if Otherwise, if it is reaching the maximum value, then the next read pointer will be is equal to 0. And based on the read enable and reset condition, we are deriving the next value of this read pointer. So the read pointer next is equal to, if there is a reset asserted, that is, if in these two cases, irrespective of the read enable, we are making the read pointer next as 0. If there is a reset asserted, read pointer next will be always equal to 0. And if there is no reset and there is a read enable asserted, in this case, that is 2-bit 1 0, then the read pointer next will be equal to read pointer incremented by 1. And if there is no reset and there is no read enable, that is 2-bit 0 0, then the read pointer next will be equal to the current read pointer value. And we are updating the read pointer with the read pointer next on every clock by using this flip-flop macro. Thus, we have derived the write pointer and the read pointer signals which is going out of this module. We have derived the write pointer and read pointer, and now you need to derive these three signals, that is the full condition, the almost full condition, and the empty conditions. So this is how we derive the almost full and full condition. So there's a signal called the almost condition, so which will be set to 1 when the read pointer is equal to the current write pointer incremented by 2. And based on the read enable and write enable, we are deriving the almost full next signal, which is getting updated to the almost full signal on every clock. So you can see this, the almost full next is equal to, if both write enable and read enable are asserted all at the same time, then the almost full next will be equal to the current value of almost full. And if there is only write enable asserted, there is no read enable, then this is almost condition. So in that case, we need to see whether the read pointer is equal to the write pointer incremented by 2. If that is the case, the almost full next is 1, otherwise it's 0. Now the third case, if there is no write enable and there is only read enable, then the almost full next will be equal to the full condition. And if none of these are there, that is, there is no write enable and there is no read enable, then again the almost full next is equal to the current value of almost full. So this again almost full is a flopped version of the almost full next signal. You can see this. And in the same way, we are deriving another signal called full next. So here you can see that when there is a write enable and read enable, then the full next will be equal to the full condition. And if there is only write enable and there is no read enable, then the full next will be equal to the almost full condition. And if there is no write enable, there is only a read enable, then the FIFO will never be equal to full in the next clock. Therefore, the full next will be equal to 0. And if there is no write enable and there is no read enable, the full next will be equal to the current value of full. And again, the current value of full will be updated with the full next on every clock by using this flip-flop macro. And the same, this is a code for full condition definition. And in the same way, we need to derive the empty condition also. So we are deriving an empty condition. If the depth is equal to 1, then the empty condition is a special case. Otherwise, the empty condition will be equal to the read pointer incremented by 1 is equal to the current value of write pointer. That is a case when the FIFO is empty. And again, based on the current value of write enable and read enable, we can see that the empty next will be equal to empty if both the write enable and read enable are asserted at the same time. And if there is only write enable and there is no read enable, then definitely the FIFO will not be empty. Thus, the empty next will be equal to 0. And if there is a write enable, there is no write enable, there is only read enable, then the empty next will be equal to the empty condition which we had derived here. And if there is no write enable and there is no read enable, then the FIFO next will be, the empty next will be equal to the current value of empty. And you can see that on every clock, this empty will be updated with the empty next signal by using this flip-flop macro. So this is the FIFO control module definition.